horse poop has a reputation that you can't eat it without getting sick. I've never tried it, but that's what they say.
The horse
Especially
is
the
kind of
horse.
treated with lots of antibiotics.
Yeah,
With
there's that.
worming,
Sure,
worming
there's all
products.
kinds of stuff.
Well, you
Yeah.
come and eat my horse poop, I feel maybe not cut any of that.
Right.
Well, maybe there back in the day you could do that, but not now.
And that's not what I'm
Yeah.
advocating anyway. But the reason I wanted to start with that story isn't just because it's our discovery of Natoo. It's also because I wanted to start with probiotics, because there isn't enough known about Natoo, but there are several aspects that are huge, and they aren't even known at all. I don't think you'll find anybody that will tell you that Natoo is a great probiotic. And it's understandable that they might not, because it was long considered that spore-relating bacteria are not good probiotics. And Natoo makes spores. Well, it turns out they found out recently, just like we found out that fungi can be good in our gut, soaking spore-relating bacteria. And in fact, over 10% of those spores can survive and become active while they're still in your gut. So Natoo itself is incredibly hardy, but the spores are almost impossible to wipe out. So that kind of has you thinking, well, gee, this is a great probiotic, except maybe it's going to take over our gut. This stuff is, they've done DNA testing, and they can tell that Natoo can change the bacteria that are populating your gut wall without populating the gut wall themselves.
It's a weed and feed.
Huh?
It's a weed and feed for the gut.
Weed and feed.
Weed and feed. You know, you put it on.
Weed it
Kills the
and
weeds, helps support
It
the
seems to
beneficial.
be. It seems to be, but how and why? I mean, some of these
Happy
questions kind of amaze me. I mean, this is a soil bacteria. It's not a gut bacteria. And in fact, it's not even capable of being a real gut bacteria, because as hard as it is to kill, I mean, one way that they use to test sterilization procedures is to use Natoo. And if the Natoo gets wiped out, you've got a pretty good procedure. But it can survive an hour, or it takes an hour at 284 degrees to kill it. I have boiled beans in a pressure cooker that I inoculated before I cooked them, and didn't inoculate after cooking them, and they made Natoo just fine. It doesn't bother them. They don't care about pH that much. In Japan, they are making a water filtration thing that they make with what the Natoo puts out, the slime that it puts out, and they're exporting it to 40 countries, Bangladesh, places like that, where they don't have clean drinking water. Just put this in a container, just a small little amount of powder, stir it around for a minute or so, and then filter it through a very simple filter, and everything is attached to the Natoo resin, and clean, drinkable water comes out of it. Also in Japan, they're making things for purifying ponds and streams and lakes and so forth. And they call it bioblocks, and you put it any place where water or air is running through the water, and it cleans up water. They've got aquariums there that have had unchanged water for 8 years with these bioblocks in them.
Is that like the barley hay?
Better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so my question is, I mean, this bacteria is doing all these things in our gut. In addition to the things that we're thinking of, is it doing things like I just described that these products are doing? Is it pure? Is it getting rid of toxins, which is what it's doing in the water? Is it getting rid of toxins in our lower gut? I don't know. I don't know that if anybody's researched that, but I mean, like the thing with dysentery, it's not just dysentery. In 1906, I think it was 1906, when everybody was in a panic because Typhoid Mary and all that was going on, the Japanese authorities notified the American authorities that they had tested typhoid with Natoo, and it completely obliterated it. It gets rid of typhoid, MRSA, C. diff, In Japanese villages where they have anybody commercially making natto, if food poisoning is going around, it's gone. They buy it off the shelves immediately because they all know in those villages that it's what you need for food poisoning.
What did the Americans say?
In 1906, what do they say now? I mean, nobody's
We
heard of
don't
it.
need you.
I mean, the